What a bunch of dumb pitches. Oh my goodness.
Welcome to another episode of Dumb Pitches with Monica Nevi. I'm Monica Nevi, your host. This is the show where we talk to successful people about their worst ideas. Very excited for our guest this week. Issac Novak is here.
Hello. Hi, Monica.
Hi. Thanks for being here.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm excited to have you. Okay, we always start the show by giving people your good ideas so that they know you have not only had really bad ideas. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
I have had bad ideas.
Well, good. Perfect. We'll get to that. Don't worry. That's the whole point.
Okay.
So, Issac Novak, you are a comedian, very funny comedian. Also, you produce a show called the Central Comedy Show in Seattle. That's been going for how long is that?
Oh, man, like 7 years
maybe
now.
I was going to say, quite a long time. And you're the mastermind, the co-founder behind the Upper Left Fest, which is a brand new comedy festival in Seattle. It's actually going on this weekend. I'm honored to be a part of it, but it's I'm just really excited. One, that Seattle gets a festival that is... if you don't know anything about comedy festivals, sometimes they're competitions, sometimes they're not. Prefer when they're not. This one is not. And so all it is a bunch of really good comedians in the same spot, which doesn't happen very often. That's why we kind of do these festivals. And then there's a lot of options for people to go and see a bunch of really good comedians in the same place. So there's 3 venues or?
There's 2 venues. We're at Club Comedy Seattle, up on 15th, and then our headquarters is Northwest Film Forum.
Northwest Film Forum. So you buy a pass, which I recommend if you're a comedy fan. Go to festivals, go to this festival, buy a pass, and then you can go and see just a ton of different really great comedians all in one place. And so the Upper Left Fest, that's this weekend, and I know that you had this idea a few years ago, and it was a little... I don't know if you guys heard. Something happened in between.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone has this idea. I mean, especially around here, you talk to comics all the time. It's like, why isn't there a festival in Seattle? I'm like, I don't know. We're just waiting for somebody else to do it.
So you decided to just be the one to do it then?
Well, no. What happened was my friend CB Sharma, who came up through the film community with my wife, Sarah Crow. They're both filmmakers.
Okay.
And he asked me, why doesn't Seattle have a comedy festival? And I told him the same thing. Like, we're all just waiting for somebody else to do it. Well, we should do it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And that's kind of, I feel like that's kind of what you need. You need some non-comedian kind of like, like neurotypical people who have organized brains.
Yeah.
And can help you do that stuff, like make things happen instead of just sitting around thinking about it.
Yeah. It is fun to sit around and think about, but it is not necessarily the most useful way to get something done.
Yeah.
Well, good. Okay. So the combination of you and CB and Sarah actually made it happen. So that's really exciting, not only to have, because having a good idea is one thing, but doing it is a whole other thing.
Yeah, it's a whole other thing. The execution is definitely the hard part. Yeah. Having an idea, anyone can do that.
That's true. We know that very well on the show. Okay, so now we know you count as you've had good ideas. You're a successful person.
Yes.
All right, now we want to hear the good stuff. What did you think of when we gave you the criteria? It could be anything. Some bad ideas. Let's hear them.
I mean, I did not read the criteria, but I have one off the top of my head because this happened recently. We had a headliner for a Central Comedy Show last winter, and who had an adorable dog, and I thought it was funny. I thought it would be funny if because this particular comic also has a very dark sense of humor. Okay. If I made the little dog into like a fruitcake, like a Christmas fruitcake, because it's a tiny dog.
Okay.
And then you just there's like a hand slicing into its butt.
Oh.
And it was a great, I thought at the time it was a great idea. Beautifully done. The dog started not doing too well.
Okay.
And I was like, he'll probably appreciate this anyways.
Okay.
Dog passes away.
Oh no.
I changed nothing. Let's just go forward with the poster. I think it's really sweet. This headliner did not think so.
Oh no. Okay. All right. So this was on a poster. At first I was like, did you make a Halloween costume where this dog was being sliced up? No. So you also do really great posters. Okay, so on the poster, this beloved dog
Yes.
of the headliner.
Yes. Was being
one of the
carved up like a delicious fruitcake.
How long after the dog had passed was the show, or was the poster?
It was the same week.
Okay. So just lost.
I think actually the dog passed away maybe the day before the show.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And
so
was
you had...
just spiraling while I was doing the promotion. And this person called me up not happy.
Really?
Happy
okay,
at
so
all.
they did actually talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, not any angrier than I would have expected.
Did they have to like clarify? Like, did you do this before or after the dog had passed? You know what I mean? Like they would know that the...
I'll just say he picked up the phone and said, "Not cool, man."
Oh no, that was it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had made the plan for the poster.
Yeah.
When the dog was doing it fine.
Dog was great.
Okay, then the dog starts maybe not.
This dog starts
doing well.
Not doing too well. Do I think maybe I should change the concept? For a second,
okay.
I thought
so.
That.
It did cross your mind.
It
maybe
it would be better probably if it didn't cross my mind. And I was just like, I hadn't thought of that, but I did think of it. I didn't do it.
You didn't do okay.
Nope.
I kind of like the idea of that person being able to be like, "What happened to your dog?" And be like, "This is what happened to the dog."
Yeah,
okay, she
yeah.
saw this poster.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But
okay, so
I expect you might know who this person is.
I do, and I'm trying not to like give too much away about it. But honestly, the idea, not the worst, knowing who it is and what that kind of all goes together, I think.
I mean, benefit of hindsight seems pretty obvious that like nobody really wants to see that while their dog is actively passing away.
That's fair, yeah.
Because comedy is tragedy plus time.
Yes.
And
there was no time yet. That makes sense. Yeah. I guess you wouldn't even want to see your dog at all, maybe, like, or even if you did see the dog on the poster, it would still evoke some emotion, whether that be like nostalgia, I miss my dog, versus my dog getting chopped up.
I'm thinking about it now, and I think if I could have just like edited out the chopping up part, it would probably been really great.
So just the dog as a fruitcake.
Then it's just a little dog under a Christmas tree, which is kind of how I set it up, like a Christmas, like one of those photos you see in greeting cards about Christmas time when people are trying to sell nuts and shit. They have a photo of it, and there's like a little bauble and a gift in the back, just a corner of the tree.
Honestly, I mean, you may have run yourself into this point here, but you're onto something in that if there was no chopping, it's almost an homage to the dog of saying, oh, here, she's with you still, even though maybe not physically, spiritually, she's still here with you. And you're like, no, what if she's getting sliced up?
It hasn't occurred to me until this moment that if I had just done that, I probably would have solved everything.
Was he mad enough to like, other than the not cool thing? I mean, I don't really know what you can do about it.
He was mad enough to almost not do the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Ooh. That is, honestly, that's I mean, we've had lots of bad ideas. Obviously, that's what this show is about.
Yeah.
But the repercussions sometimes aren't really, tangible. So that's pretty... Almost quit on you. You almost lost a headliner. I really had to smooth things over and be very. How did you explain yourself?
I just I don't even remember what I said. Something along the lines of like nobody bats 1,000.
Just like, yeah, I fucked up. Sorry. Yeah. If at that time, if you went, what if she wasn't being sliced? Is that helpful?
I mean, I think I could have probably gotten away with that now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I did not think about that until today.
I mean, that's a stressful moment when someone calls you up upset like that, know. Oh, gosh. I'm sure it was beautiful. And now people are going to go try and find it.
Oh, man. They're not going to. I did what I could to scrub it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I posted it and then he saw it on Facebook like that day. And then it was off as fast as I could get it off.
That is a really good one, honestly. I'm sorry, but that's
it's okay.
That was a great bad idea.
Don't apologize to me. My dog's doing great. My dog is still alive. He's very cute and happy.
Let's keep him away from the fruitcakes.
Keep away from the fruitcakes.
Do you have any other ones that you thought of?
No, that's the only that one's in my mind now, especially like, oh man, you should have just changed.
Are there any other like
floating around in my head.
posters ideas that you've had that you're like, maybe this, like maybe that you didn't even go through with? Because this one, clearly you had some thoughts where you were like, maybe this isn't the best idea. Have you ever come up with an idea that you were like, yeah, I'm not going to do that?
I have, I've done caricatures a lot. I try to, if I can, if somebody has an interesting face, especially, like try to do a caricature of them and put that on the poster, just kind of for funsies. But I've made people not look like themselves a number of times. I've made people look like a completely different stand-up comic, or
this will sell more tickets. This is a more famous comic that this looks like.
Hey, you got Jackie Cation on your show. No, I didn't.
No, yeah, exactly. That's supposed to be Monica. Okay, so maybe it just doesn't turn out the way that you... Are you doing that on purpose? No, obviously.
No.
Yeah, okay. It just didn't turn out the way. So then do you go, I got to start over, or are you I'm going to do not a character?
Well, once sometimes you just like, you're in production mode. And so you just kind of like make the thing, you do the sketches look great. You do the ink and you're just on autopilot now. Like the deadline for this was 2 days ago. I was supposed to be done with this. Let's just get it out. And then it's printed, it's colored, it's up on a telephone pole. I'm like, no.
It's all the way up here. You're like, no, that doesn't look like what I meant it to look like.
Yeah.
I could imagine trying to draw something and it not looking the way that you wanted, because that's every time I draw.
Yeah.
It always in my head is going to look better than it does. But also, that's not one of my talents. I know that. But knowing that so many times you have done a poster that looked like what you wanted, I mean, you would trust yourself, right?
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, this is going to look like Monica or whoever. Nope, it's Jackie Cation. Who's that upper left fest? Look at that.
Everybody I draw is just Jackie Cation.
It just keeps turning into Jackie Cation.
Who's on the festival this weekend?
Yeah, I'm glad that you got her involved, because now maybe that's it. Maybe the subconscious of you drawing her all the time.
I should just show her like half a dozen drawings of different comics that ended up looking like her. What's this mean? She's like, shh.
Yeah, you gotta. I've just been thinking about you. That's all. Nothing creepy. Don't worry about it. Okay. But then sometimes you do these. Like sometimes it is a person caricature. Is that the way you would say? I don't know. But then sometimes you do these different like concepts kind of thing. Like I've seen almost like it looks like the person, but they're a stone or something, like whatever, like just different. They're really cool. Is there any like concept that you've had separately that's like either you couldn't, like once you started to try and draw it, you're like, I can't actually do this, or that you were like, this is a good idea, but then nobody got it kind of thing?
Well, the illustration for the Upper Left Comedy Festival actually was really a complicated thing to think about, because it's all like isometric lines,
right?
And not really in perspective, but it's like a city based on Capitol Hill, and so
I was gonna try to describe it, but that was a much better way. I was like, it looks like you would draw a cube when you're a kid, It's like kind of that corner, but it looks, but then the words make up more of like a skyline type of thing. It
was just, to give you a brief summary, it was just, I just thought it was going to be easy. And then I painted myself into a corner.
Literally.
Okay, now that you've made all these lines going in this direction, now you have to follow through. And it just became incredibly complicated and broke my brain. So, during like making a poster or any piece of art for me, and comedy is like this too. You go through a process, you have a great idea, you start sketching it, and then about midway through, you just start spiraling. Like, I can't draw, like I don't know what I'm doing. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And then you just have to pull yourself up out of it.
Yeah, and you're like, make it the best that I can.
It's why I have so much trouble with deadlines, because I have to go through this existential crisis with everything I do.
That's funny, because if I have no deadline, then I will just keep going back over it, and you just don't ever finish it. When I do have a deadline, I just am like, honestly, I'm still procrastinating even years after being in school, but that's true. And then as soon as I get closer to like, you just have to finish it, then I can put something out, and it's always fine. I don't even know what I get kind of nitpicky about, but it just never feels like it's going to be as good as I want it to be.
Yeah.
So then, but I've made my best things without thinking, like with just being like, oh, I have to write this, just give it one shot. And it's actually better than, somebody asked me last week if I still get nervous before I get on stage. And I said, I mean, kind of, but not really. You know, like in the green room and stuff, I'm pretty fine until right before I get on stage.
Yeah.
Then I go, what am I doing? This is the weirdest thing. Why would they listen to me?
Yes.
I don't know. You know, even though you've done it a million times.
Ladies and gentlemen, Monica Nevi.
And you're like, hey, it's me. Is this good? I still don't know until they laugh the first time. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's just a weird. I do
remember how to do that.
Yeah, which is the only thing I was thinking when you were saying that. You're like halfway through, you go, wait, why am I, I can't even draw.
Yeah.
Is this joke good? I mean, yeah, it's very much like stand-up in that you have the idea first, right? Then you start to draw it, and that's when you see whether it's actually what you're intending or not.
Yeah, jokes are very much like that.
Yeah.
You have this idea in your brain, like, this is gonna
like,
kill.
I think this is great. Yeah.
And people are like, no, not really.
Yeah, you wouldn't know until you're already doing it.
Sometimes, especially at mics, like lately, I've just started asking people, like, what's wrong with that? Like, is there...
If you could just tell me, what did you not like about that?
Can we workshop this just a little bit?
That's funny. I like... I mean, you know, that probably comes with time too. Just being able to be like, look,
I don't have time to spend the next 2 months just banging this around myself. Like, just tell me what's wrong.
Do you think it's ever going to be good? Because if not, I'll stop doing it now. Is there any potential there? I mean, when I first started stand-up, I saw a few guys kind of do that where they'd be like real general topic, which is not how I write at all, is not to just be like, I want to write a joke about Glenn Beck. Let me go on stage and just see what happens. Like, that's not, I have a pretty, honestly, probably 75% of my jokes, the way I wrote them originally is how they are still on stage.
Wow.
I don't change them much. That's just kind of how they come to me, but not very often is the unfortunate part. I get really streaky with how I write. Anyways.
First thought, best thought.
Well, yeah, when I first started stand-up, there was a lot of guys who would go up with just, oh, I just want to talk about this one thing. And then you would hear them just keep going sometimes. And then either it wasn't going anywhere and they'd stop themselves. I mean, these are guys who had done stand-up for a long time. So obviously they were trying to utilize this open mic time. Mm-hmm. And then they'd be like, no, that's not. Like, they would say it out loud. No, that's not. I don't really like that, you know? And then I've seen...
The audience is like, yeah, we don't either.
Yeah, they're like, okay, well, you know. Which the audience actually really likes the breaking of that, like, I know I'm not doing well. You know, like, we're not, I mean, some of us, but not all of us, we're not under the illusion that we're crushing if we're not, you know, like that's... And so then you'd see guys try something and it would be doing well, but they really don't know where it's going yet. So then at some point they'd stop and be like, no, that's got potential.
I mean, that's me.
Yeah.
You're talking about me. That's half of my act. It's
perfect.
Like, I get a good laugh up top and then like, okay, I got to tie this together. What else is going on? You know?
What else is good? What else can we talk about? Oh, that's funny. Well, and yeah, so basically some people go on stage at an open mic like they're coming on this show where they're like, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but here, I'm going to give it to you and now it's your problem.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't fault anyone for that.
I love it when you see somebody, if it's their first time, like, I'm just going to go up there and start spitting.
Yeah. That's scary. That's not, yeah. If you ever hear someone talking about wanting to do stand-up and they're like, I'm just going to go up.
Just funny.
Yeah, so whatever I say, it'll be fine, which I genuinely jealous of that person to have that confidence. This is my job. It has been for a long time and I'm not that confident. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just funny. It'll be fine.
There are some people because there are people who like start and just like their enthusiasm and like rush of doing comedy is helping them go over.
Yeah.
And then a few months later, they figured that's what happened, and now they're full of fear.
Yeah, because it comes for you eventually. Not to scare anybody, but
then there's comics like, you know, I think of Clara Pluton, local comic, who started like that, and then it just never went away. She just kind of kept.
Does have going. This confidence where you're just like, I just trust whatever she's saying. This seems good. Yeah. I'll let her take me wherever she's going. Yeah. That's great. I mean, doing stand-up is not the best idea, but, here we are anyways.
Yeah,
So.
there's a bad idea for you.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of our guests sometimes are like, I think my career is a bad idea. We're like, yeah, probably.
I mean, I'm thinking of like, not bad ideas, but, and I don't really want to talk about these because my brain is filled with a number of unforced errors just putting this festival together.
Yeah.
Just printing problems. Like there's a typo. I shouldn't say this. But there's a typo in the flyer. If you can find the typo in our trifold,
we'll give you $10 off.
Give you a fist bumper. Yes.
I don't know. I'll give you a t-shirt. I have new t-shirts, by the way. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on.
Absolutely.
Where can people follow the festival, follow you, those things? Give them your social media.
You can follow me. My website is issacisfunny.com. I really need to update it, but it's there. There are clips. Upperleftfest.com is our website for the festival. It's starting up tonight. There's a whole bunch of really good shows coming. We got Monica Nevi, Travis Nelson doing a panel on Saturday about a life in stand-up comedy, moderated by Harry J. Riley. We've got David Bory. We've got Harry J. Riley.
Yeah.
David Bory, Jackie Cation, Ron Lynch, whole bunch of local luminaries and funny people. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, and some people you've already seen on this show, so that's great. I'm really excited for it. If you're in the Seattle area or just Washington area, make the trip. Come see a bunch of really good comedy all in one place. That's the whole point. I'm excited for it. And other than that, you can follow this show at Dumb Pitches or subscribe to our YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, go ahead. You just subscribe. Or anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever you choose. We support that, and thank you for being here. And right now, you can just keep watching Dumb Pitches.
Do it.
You're weird.
Yes.